Ikigai. Hey, I'll make the text up here. Ikigai. The reason for living, your purpose for existence, discovering your Ikigai. I am so glad I read it. Personally, I rate the book a 9 out of 10, which is very high for a self-help book. See, I don't like self-help books. I gave this book a chance and I do not regret it. And I'm also telling you to give it a chance. So I'm going to break the book down into 10 or 11 concepts. I'm not sure. I have the concepts here. I did not have a book. I mean, I did have a book, but I did not want to write it in the book, so I used other paper. So these are the concepts, and I'm going to be helping you discover your purpose in life. I'm going to use the book to help you discover your purpose in life. I believe the book found me. There's several concepts in the book. I've seen it in different places and different media, but then the fact that the book consolidated it into one media unintentionally was just it for me. So I was very happy to see all of that. I feel like I do a lot of hand waving. But okay, the first time I heard about Ikigai was from Eddie Wu. Eddie Wu is the reason I started my YouTube channel. Eddie Wu is an educational YouTuber. He teaches math. I watch his stuff a lot. And I also watched his TED Talk. In the TED Talk, he drew this Venn diagram. The intersection of these three things would form your Ikigai or your purpose for living. So the authors went to a community known as Ogimi in Okinawa. The community is known for their inhabitants living a long life. So they wanted to find out, why do these people live long? Alright, how can we help people live long by finding their purpose in life? Ikigai. Do you get it now? Alright, let's go there. Flow. I feel like everybody here should have heard about flow, but then if you've not heard about flow, how do I break this down? When you are in flow, not menstrual flow, flow is when you are so into what you are doing that every other thing fades away. You have tunnel vision and all distraction fizzles out. That is flow. Some people call it being in the zone. So it depends on the type of things that you do. Some athletes get into the zone. I feel flow while I am reading. Whenever I'm reading something I really like, something I'm very interested in, or something that is making sense, I can so be into it that what's happening around me fizzles away and I am just inside the book. So that is flow. And flow is very important to finding your purpose in life. I will explain. So a popular quote by Aristotle says that we are what we repeatedly do, and excellence, therefore, is an act, not a habit. This is similar to the Bob Ross clip I sent to my roommates, that where Bob Ross was saying that there's no such thing as like, you can't do it, I can't do it, oh Bob, I can't do it, that you just have a talent for it. Anything you repeatedly do, you are going to, at the end of the day, attain mastery, right? Practice makes perfection. So that is why flow is very important, because when you constantly engage in activities that lead you to flow, it can help you find your Ikigai. A typical example is the fact that Japan's artisans are so special. Their culture is unhindered with. So the problem with us in Africa here is that our culture has been diluted because we had the colonizers and so on. But the Japanese, you have maybe a lineage of artisans and what they've been doing since his great-great-great-grandfather and great-grandfather and grandfather and grand is just maybe making porcelain or teacups or something. And you see a lineage of mastery of a particular art. You'd have someone that constantly engages in a particular art or in a particular activity every day. They're in flow constantly. That is their Ikigai. Constantly engaging in activities that put you into flow, helps you to discover your purpose in life. In the case of these artisans, making teacups and porcelain, I guess, can be your purpose in life. Purpose in life doesn't have to be so grand. In the book, there was even an example of an elevator lady. She just opens the elevator for you, and that's her Ikigai. Your purpose can just be something that you enjoy doing every day, makes you happy, makes everyone around you happy, and it's as simple as that. So there is also something called microflow, which is finding flow in basic activities that you do every day. For example, doing your laundry, washing your, I used to tell Tony that like you can't be doing your laundry and doing something else. So you can find flow in you're washing plates or you're washing your clothes and you're just locked in on it, or maybe you're so into it you forget everything going around you. That's flow. So there are several conditions for achieving flow. I would say it out so because it helps. One, you have to know what to do. You have to know how to do it. You have to know how well you are doing. You have to know where to go. You have to perceive significant challenges, perceive significant skills, and be free from distractions. I always say it when I'm giving reading tips. You have to know what you are doing. For example, you want to read a particular course, you have to know the topic you want to read, what you want to get from it, how you're going to achieve it, how long you're going to spend on it. Every single detail must be planned out, and any single obstacle in your brain kind of makes you not get into flow because you don't have a clear blueprint for achieving the goal. So those are the 7 conditions for achieving flows. And then there are 3 strategies for flow. So the first strategy is a task must not be too easy or too hard. So it's a bit challenging still, but then it's still achievable. So you are more inclined to indulge in it. The next strategy is that you must have a clear objective at the back of your mind. So according to the book, that's why sports activities are very easy to get into flowing because, for example, I play volleyball. Maybe when I come for training, my clear objective might be to get perfect serves, right? So that all my service goes where I want them to go. Or when I'm spiking, to have a good contact with the ball. So because of that clear objective in mind, it fuels my actions. It's very easy to have a clear objective in physical activities more, but then for every other activity I do, you should have a clear objective in mind to achieve flow. And the third strategy is to take it one task at a time. Multitasking is so wrong these days. Because of this book, I'm trying to take tasks one at a time. I don't eat while I'm reading. I don't plan while I'm watching a movie. Those are separate tasks, and your brain was not wired to multitask. Whenever you're multitasking and you think you're doing it, well, what you're doing is you're flitting through tasks so fast. And hopefully, as you constantly try to achieve flow in an activity, you can find your Ikigai. I forgot to add that to my list of concepts. Mindfulness. So mindfulness is kind of connecting with your psyche. It's kind of being aware of what is going on in your body, and it kind of helps you calm down. So for example, taking deep breaths in, deep breath out, feeling your breath. That helps me a lot because I usually find myself in situations that are very stressful. Like I have to make so many choices at once. So mindfulness always helps me to like calm down, breathe. That helps with stress, which leads to longevity. It's one of the concepts where I completely forgot to write it down on my list. So, but just have it at the back of your mind. Mindfulness. The next concept is logotherapy and Morita therapy. Okay. Logotherapy was put forward by Viktor Frankl, and it sought to help solve neurosis or mental illness. It just has niche. Uncle Izzy told me to practice his names before I make these videos. I don't know why I forget. Niche. I don't know how his name is pronounced. So he said that he who has a why to live for can bear with almost anyhow. So logotherapy helps to solve existential crisis and existential frustration. So existential frustration is when you are living a life without purpose and you are like, I feel like everybody has come to that point. You're like, what am I doing? What's this life for? And so on and so on and so on. An existential crisis is when you're living a life that you are told to live rather than what you want to live. It's the point almost everybody is at in Nigeria now. These two can be solved using logotherapy because logotherapy is related to Ikigai. It helps you find your purpose in life. So if you can find your purpose in life, you can annul existential frustration and also existential crisis. All right. So that is logotherapy. Now, Morita therapy is a different kind of therapy that encourages you to see your emotions as separate from yourself. That's the way I understood it. Morita therapy likened emotions to the weather. Right? It is raining now. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You can just accept that, oh, it's raining, acknowledge the rain and deal with it. So, and the first time I encountered Morita therapy, and I didn't even know it was Morita therapy, was when I was reading the Spy Family manga, and he had this bunch of kids, his friend, Damian's friends. If you read Spy Family, if not, the kids were jealous. The two guys were best friends with the boy, and then they were jealous of him. And then their butler told them that don't let the jealousy drive your actions. Rather, look at the jealousy as a separate being. I think he told them to name it Buzz or something. Look at it as a separate being. Acknowledge it. Hey, what's up? I see you are here. Cool. And then just like separate yourself from it entirely. And I've been trying to put that into practice because I feel a lot of emotions I can't name most of the time. So I just shove it by the side. I was telling Halima that I was going through something last semester and I didn't even know what I was going through. I just knew I was going through something and it was always affecting me. I was always like, Morita therapy would encourage you to just sit down. How am I feeling? Am I feeling jealous? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling insulted? And separate your emotion from yourself. Acknowledge the fact that the emotion is there, but don't let it dictate your actions. Is kind of opposite to the modern day therapy that would always try to give you a verbal solution like, okay, try to journal, try to do this, try to. This one is just telling you, just acknowledge that the emotion is there and move on. So that is Morita therapy. And the principles for Morita therapy, one, you have to accept your feelings, just as I said. Then you have to do what you should be doing. Do what you should be doing. And you discover your life's purpose. That's the Ikigai. So logotherapy, Morita therapy they help you to discover your purpose in life by looking into your inward self. So the next concept is the Wabi-Sabi. The Wabi-Sabi is basically accepting imperfection. It's like seeing beauty in imperfection because imperfection is reality. Human beings are broken. Human beings are not perfect. You can't see a perfect human being. As much as I look perfect, obviously, like, I am not perfect. I have my own flaws, even though that's hard to believe. The Wabi Sabi is just accepting imperfections that can help you channel your emotions better because if you can recognize that things are not perfect, things will not always go the way you want, things will not always be the way they seem, and you can embrace that can help you live a better and happier life. So that is the Wabi Sabi. So the next concept is community. So as I said, the case study from the book was from a Japanese community. One special thing about them is the communion, right? So they depend on each other. They have fun together, karaoke, they throw parties, they do this, they do that, they celebrate together, they cry together. So that community life helps in fueling both longevity and also discovering your purpose. And is very similar to what we have in the Igbo community because back in the day, I never lived in that day, but back in the day, you'd have houses with no fences, you'd have community activities like Girls by Moonlight, having festivals and so on, things that we don't see now because our culture has been so watered down. Community life helps with longevity and also in finding your Ikigai.
The next concept, cynicism and stoicism. So what cynics do is they avoid doing some certain things because they want to eliminate the potential of feeling some sort of negative emotion or some negative side effect. As an act of self-preservation, they will always shy away from some certain things. But then stoics, on the other hand, live in, doing stuff, but they deny negative emotion access. So the difference is that this is a negative emotion. Cynics go around it by avoiding some things, but stoics, they do the stuff, but then they don't let the negative emotion like affect them at all. Stoics understand that negative things are part of life, but your reaction to it is now the only thing that matters. And the book also gave tips for being an active stoic, like negative visualization. I already do that subconsciously when I imagine the worst. So when the worst actually happens, I'm like, I think I've seen this somewhere in my subconscious. Another way of practicing stoicism is identify the things that you can actually control and things that you can't control. And then the next thing is to choose the time to live in Ima Kokode. We're very prone to looking at our past mistakes, worrying about the future. Bro, what you have now is now. It is now. I think we always forget that the only thing you have is now. The time is now. Like, forget what you did in the past, whether good or bad. Forget it. Forget what will be in the future. I mean, que sera, sera, right? What will be, will be. I remember in 2022, I was going through a very rough patch. That particular, Nantona yutte janai desu ka? Ma yutte nai desu ka? Don't worry, I'll add it to this video. That was my anthem. You don't worry about the past, alright? Don't think about the future. Just live now. So to be a stoic, you have to choose the time that you're living in, which is now. And the last concept is anti-fragile, anti-fragile, anti-fragile. I heard that from a K-pop song. I didn't even know that was an actual word. So in English parlance, we have fragility and resilience. So if you're fragile, when stress comes, you break. If you're resilient, when stress comes, you stay. But then, what do you call those people that when stress comes, they don't break, but then they grow harder, stronger, better? So, what happens to those people is like the story of Hercules and the Hydra, where you cut the neck of the Hydra and another head grows while that one grows back. You have to be anti-fragile. Don't just let it get you down, or don't just stay strong when it gets you. Grow, grow. This book spoke to me. It spoke to me. The book is in 9 out of 10, and I highly recommend you can sit down and read this book in 3 hours. If you just devote some time, you'd understand what the book is talking about. What's being conveyed in the book can be applicable to real life, unlike any other self-help books. So it's a 9 out of 10 for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you were able to learn one or two about finding your life. I had not found my life's purpose though. I read the book, Sha. In case you find, you should let me know in the comment section. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.
なんとなく生きてんじゃないですか。迷ってんじゃないですか。生き生きさい。簡単ですよ。過去のことを思っちゃダメだよ。なんであんなことしたんだろうって怒りに変わってくるから。未来のことも思っちゃダメ。大丈夫かな。ああ、不安になってくるでしょ。ならば一生懸命一つのところに命をかける。そうだ。今ここを生きていけばみんな生き生きするぞ。